You're listening to the Empowered Divorce podcast, where you practice being the chooser in your life again, one day at a time. Thanks for joining me. Hello, my amazing, beautiful listeners. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Thanks for being here wherever you're at, whether you're driving, maybe this time of year you're running around. I feel like a crazy person right now running around trying to make sure I have everything. I've got all 14 people coming home for Christmas and it's going to be amazing and busy. And so I feel all abuzz. I'm trying to put on Christmas music to keep me in the spirit mode because I don't know what it is about drivers around this time of year, but it's a little insane, at least here in Austin. Maybe you are on a walk. Oh my gosh, hopefully you are getting that one-on-one time with yourself before your busy, crazy day starts. Wherever you're at, I'm just glad to be a part of your day in any way. One of the things that I will say to a lot of my clients, especially in consultations, like my goal is not to tell people what to do or force them to do anything or tell them what they're doing wrong, but really just to walk alongside them in their journey. And that's what I hope to do with this podcast. So thank you for letting me walk alongside you in your journey, wherever you're at through this podcast. Today, I hope this topic really resonates with the majority of you listeners. I know that a lot of my clients feel this in a very deep personal level. We take time to unpack a lot of these limiting beliefs, honestly, limiting beliefs and ways of thinking that a lot of my clients will start to recognize, wait a second, this isn't my voice. This isn't my words. This isn't really what I want to think or even know about myself. It's what I've been told. It's what I've been conditioned to think or feel about myself. So one of my favorite things to do is to help clients unpack a lot of that, come to their own beliefs and believe what they want about themselves, about their life, about their body, about their divorce, all of it. One of the things that I am so passionate about is helping my clients learn to believe in themselves again. It's why I created that. It's why I created the coaching program, Believing in You, where we dive into a lot of these limiting beliefs and start believing what we want. I didn't know for myself, I didn't know that I could believe what I wanted. I knew that I could believe what I wanted, but there would always be a consequence if I believed something that might be a little too high of expectation, or if I believed that in something that, well, my partner didn't believe in, then I was wrong, right? Or if I believed that I could do something, but it was outside the box that I was put in or told that I should stay in, then there would be a problem, right? Really pushing back on a lot of these limiting beliefs, a lot of these stories that I told myself, that my brain told me, that other people told me, family of origin told me, that I couldn't believe. When I really started to dig in and ask myself, well, wait a second, why? Why can't I believe that? What if I did believe that? It unlocked something beautiful inside and I threw away the damn key because I never wanted to go back again. I love helping women start to believe something new about themselves, about their future, about all of it. We often aren't aware of a lot of these limiting beliefs or assumptions, family of origin beliefs, roles that we play, roles that we were told we need to play. We can't see into our own human brains, which is why coaching is so beneficial. Having someone watch your brain and reflect that back to you. But when you're in a coaching group, you're able to watch your brain when you watch another human brain and you can see something in yourself that you didn't see before. That's why my 3 pillars of healing is awareness, acceptance, and then agency. A lot of times we just want the action. We want to do something about it. We want to fix it. Man, I have no doubt that women know how to get shit done. That is never the question. We often aren't completely aware of what is happening. And a lot of times we're in denial. We are resisting. We are even reacting to what is currently happening rather than radically accepting it, which makes it impossible to really change, to make long lasting change. So when I noticed that a lot of women who were in support groups were getting stuck in their healing journey, I wanted to create something to help them get unstuck. And one of the things that I see is that lack of self-awareness. And again, we can't see into our own brain. So having someone reflect back to you what you can't see is, I think, one of the missing pieces. How many of you are noticing that your thoughts and your beliefs about yourself are all tangled up in the opinions of your ex? I'm talking about the opinions of your body, maybe the way that you think about your body, your sexuality, your behaviors, your clothes, your hobbies, your lifestyle, the way that you mother, your friendships, your emotions, your attitude, how you clean or don't clean, whatever it is. Do you find yourself, maybe a lot of it is subconscious, right? Do you find yourself not able to get his voice and his beliefs about you out of your head? First of all, I just want to normalize that when you are living with someone who's not only creating a false reality for you, but when there's abusive behavior and communication happening and you're still trying to stay attached for multiple reasons, right? We've talked about that in different episodes, but when you're still trying to create that attachment, then a part of us goes into this mode of needing to believe what is being told. Maybe we're the problem. Maybe if we fix this or fix that or change this or change that, then the problem that my partner has will be solved. Maybe then the relationship will be better. But whatever it is, they had an opinion about you, something that you were doing, didn't they? Maybe, just maybe, you absorbed that opinion and made that become something you are now believing about yourself. And now, even though you're out of the relationship, your brain is still carrying around this critical voice like a bad souvenir that you just can't throw away because you think that you should keep it because you went on that really long trip. Some of you know what I'm talking about, that one box that you have of just random souvenirs that you just pick up and you're wondering why in the heck you decided to keep that. Maybe you're in that in-between place where you are trying not to believe what their voice is saying. You're trying to get their voice out of your head and your brain is just being really stubborn, just feels stuck in the old patterns, replaying their words like a broken record. Here's the good news. You can absolutely un-F your brain. Yes, you can absolutely get it unstuck and reclaim what is yours. Reclaim your beliefs and believe something absolutely new. I want to deep dive into why those beliefs got stuck, how to recognize them, and more importantly, how to rewrite them so that you can feel like yourself again. Going back to those pillars of healing, the first one is awareness. So first we want to call it out. Start paying attention to those sneaky little thoughts that you have about yourself and what you are doing and how you're doing it. And if they're critical, dismissive, negative, write them down, get it out of your head, get it on paper. When you see it in front of you, you're able to take on a different perspective. We're able to tackle it from a third party perspective rather than absorbing it and even identifying with it. So the exercise of writing things out, doing these thought dumps is really beneficial. So maybe it's something like, I feel like I'm not a good mom. All right. So write that down. Or you're so loud, or you're just an angry, bitter person. What are these little thoughts that you're believing or the voice that you hear in your head? Write it down, get it out on paper. What are these phrases that you're repeating? Maybe you know they're coming from your ex. Maybe you hear yourself think it or say it and you're like, that is absolutely from them. That is not me. I still want you to write it down. Hell, maybe there's a lot of beliefs that are coming from his family, right? Let's include those people too. I know a lot of you were really close to your in-laws and there were a lot of connections and attachments there too. Especially for those of you who got married young, a large part of your human brain development was with that side of the family. Then their narrative, their beliefs, their family system is absolutely going to play a part into your beliefs. So we want to, again, be more aware and get more curious about what these are. When we notice it, we write it down, we're slowing down the absorption of it, meaning we aren't going to believe everything that our brain offers. We're starting to question. We're starting to create a little bit of a pause in that neural pathway where we go, wait a second, before we're just going to automatically believe what the brain just offered here, we're creating a little blip, if you will, in that neural pathway for us to go, wait a second, maybe we're not going to believe this thought. What if we don't? This is a great practice. This is how we create self-awareness, right? We don't believe everything the human brain dishes out. So when you are, let's say, actually, let me give you one of mine. This is going to be funny. All right, but I'm going to go with it. When my leg hair grows out past like day 3, I am Italian. So yes, my leg hair grows back in like 5 hours. Anyways, my thought was, ew, you're disgusting. No one wants to look at that, see that, or feel that. Okay, so I slow down. I know this is a silly one, but it's real for me. Okay, so we slow down and I'm going to notice, well, that's not very nice. I'm disgusting. Like, that is not a very nice thing to say to anybody that I love, certainly not to myself, right? So when I hear myself say that, that's my little internal red flag, and I need to create a little blip in my neural pathway and cause that pause and have cause for pause, right? Where I'm like, okay, that wasn't very nice. Why am I thinking this? Now we're creating even a longer gap, right? In between the initial thought to the belief. We're creating more and more distance. Why am I thinking this? Where did this come from? And whose voice is this really? Well, it's my ex's. This isn't mine. I don't freaking care if my leg hair grows out, honestly. I mean, if it's in that prickly stage and it's annoying on the sheets, I just put it in a pair of pajama bottoms, right? But that was not the message that I got. That was not allowed. That was not okay. It was, you're disgusting. That's disgusting. So of course that became my belief about myself. But when I slowed that down and got curious, I could recognize, wait, that's really not what I think. It's really not what I want to think about myself. If I want to shave my legs, then I can shave my legs. If I don't have to believe that I'm disgusting, right? There's the difference. I stopped the thought and created the space to question, to rewire. So now I don't believe that I'm disgusting. Okay, here's another one. You're so inflexible. You're so rigid. You're too controlling. Am I so rigid, so inflexible, and too controlling? Whose voice is that really? Where did that come from? My ex. I'm actually not inflexible, rigid, or controlling when I'm in a healthy space with healthy people who are not trying to lie, gaslight, or deceive me. Wow, what a concept. When I'm in a healthy relationship, when I'm in a healthy space, I'm actually very flexible. I'm actually willing to compromise. I'm actually willing to adjust my schedule, adjust even the way that I think and believe, to be more open-minded. I don't need to control when I have control over my space and my thoughts. Wow, interesting. Okay, you get the point. Be aware of these thoughts and these beliefs and ask yourself, whose voice is this really? Now, I know that for some of you, it might truly feel like this is your voice, especially when there has truly been a high level of psychological abuse. So if you are feeling really, really stuck here, please get support from a professional to help you sort this out. I love parts work, internal family systems work for this, as well as brain spotting. But I want to validate that this can be really hard for some of you when the negative messaging really feels like this is who you really are. If you are feeling like there's a blending there, we're identifying with these thoughts and these beliefs, that's when I would suggest reaching out and getting additional support. Like I was saying earlier, having someone to be able to watch your brain, and especially someone that is trained in IFS, can help part this out, help you see this a little bit more clearly when it is really hard to see yourself. Because like I mentioned, it's really difficult for us to see into our own human brains completely. It's like impossible. We're not meant to. Okay, so after we start to become more aware of these thoughts, of these beliefs, which by the way, it's been a while since I've mentioned thought dumping. This is a really, really powerful tool. If you are not doing thought dumping at least once a day, I'm going to just bring it up again, encourage you again to thought dump. All that is, for those new listeners, is pen to paper. Yes, it really does matter to get it out on paper. We're getting it out of our head. We're putting it on paper where we can be more curious and observant. We're creating a little bit of distance between us and the thoughts and beliefs. This helps, especially for those of you who are identifying with a lot of these negative beliefs. So you're just writing on paper whatever comes to mind. It's not necessarily an emotions dump, it's thoughts. And I tell a lot of my clients, like, this doesn't have to look pretty. You don't have to worry about what you're writing. This isn't for posterity. Even if you don't know where to start, majority of the time, my thought dumps start with, I don't even know what to say today. I don't know what I'm writing, blah, 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 blah. I will write out blah, 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 blah. I'm not kidding. Whatever I am thinking, I write. The trick here is to not judge it, is to not make it wrong, not go into this is critical type of thinking. You're just getting it out of your head and onto paper. What we're doing with that is we're observing what's coming out of our brain. We're able to see a little bit more and be more aware of what our human brain is offering. Again, that's why it's pillar number 1 in our healing journey. We can't change what we don't see. We can't challenge the validity of these thoughts and beliefs or decide if we really want to think and believe this if we don't first see it without judgment, shame, or blame. Okay, the next step, once we start to become aware, is we challenge these thoughts and these beliefs. Is it even true? What evidence do I have that supports or debunks this thought? For example, if the thought is, I am bad at keeping the house clean, we're going to ask, what does bad even mean? Right? Like, who gets to decide what bad housekeeping looks like? My ex-partner? Like, who gets to decide that definition? Spoiler alert, not them. You get to decide. Or perhaps you're believing that you're not sexual enough. Maybe something's wrong with you and your sexuality, right? A common message from a sex addict, even if it's covertly communicated, right? Is that something is wrong with you? You're not enough? But who gets to decide your sexual template and your enoughness? Not them. We are challenging the thoughts. This is, again, why putting it out on paper is really helpful, because once you have all of these thoughts and beliefs on paper, number 1, you're going to start to notice a pattern, especially if you start to do this every day. Then you will start to see a pattern in a lot of these beliefs, a lot of these thoughts. They will start to show up every day, no matter what kind of day you have. And you're starting to catch on to your human brain. This thought is showing up like all the time. Now I'm going to be more aware of when this shows up. We're creating a little bit, there's that hiccup, right? That space between the thought and the belief. The more you lengthen that space, that neural pathway, you're giving yourself time to rewire it, to give yourself really to step into agency and choose whether or not you want to keep thinking this and believing it or not. If not, if you are recognizing that you really, really want to get their voice out of your head because it is not serving you anymore, then we're going to rewrite the narrative. We're going to rewrite the story, flip the script. So instead of I'm not sexual enough, I am a sexual being and it is mine to own. That is enough. Instead of I look terrible, my body isn't enough. This is my body and it carries me through life. Even if this feels like a stretch, start with bridge thoughts. You know what a bridge thought is? It's a thought that gets you towards the ultimate belief. So for example, when I was doing body love work, believing that I love my body was way too much of a stretch, right? I'm like, yeah, right. There's no way. There's no way I'm believing that my body is enough and that I love it. Can't do that. Sorry. So you start with I created a bridge thought, which was I have a body. Then it moved to I have a body that works. And then it was, I like my body. I like what my body does for me. I like that my body just got me through the day, right? So we're stretching our belief. Eventually, I could get to the other side of that bridge and say that I love my body. So you're noticing the thought that you don't want to think anymore. And maybe you're like, gosh, I really don't want to think this. This is what I really want to think. But that feels almost too much. Like, that's just like a little too unbelievable. Then create a bridge thought. So maybe it's, I'm open to seeing myself differently. Or I'm learning to appreciate my body or to appreciate myself or to appreciate the way that I have learned to clean. Okay. Whatever that is. A bridge thought helps you get ultimately to a belief that you want to choose. What we want to try to do next is really practice learning to catch the triggers that lead to these thoughts and beliefs. What is setting off the thought? Oftentimes it's a comment somebody makes. It's scrolling through Instagram. Maybe it's seeing your ex at drop off and it's something that he says or something that you see. It could be internal, external. When you know what sparks them, you can then prepare. This is where boundaries with yourself, boundaries with where you go, what you listen to, who you're with, it can really help protect from the trigger. Taking a deep breath, reminding yourself, this is old programming. This is not my truth. And then being able to redirect your focus. This takes time. I don't want to give a time frame because it's so different for every body and everybody's brain. But I will say the more you practice, the more awareness, goes back to awareness, the more awareness you have over what is setting this off, then you can, and you take control over that, you can calm that down. When we have thought something over and over and over, it becomes a belief. When you think something over and over, it creates such a strong neural pathway to where you think it and believe it so instantaneously, millisecond after millisecond, right? You are thinking and believing. When we pause, we slow that down, when we ask ourselves questions and get curious and journal and feel in our bodies and start to question and think something new, create a bridge thought. That's how we slow down the speed of the thought to the belief and interfere with that so that we can reprogram and believe something different, believe something new. The next thing we do is practice getting back in the body. Your brain isn't the only place that this stuff lives, right? It's also living in your body. So doing something physical to help shift the energy is going to be really beneficial. Sometimes when you sit and you're frozen in one place and you're just trying to outthink the old negative belief, you might find yourself feeling a little stuck. So getting up and moving and walking and stretching and getting a drink of water, just touching your toes, reaching your hands to the sky, shifting your weight from side to side, rocking back and forth from heel to toe. Those little things can really help shift the energy of the old belief to a new belief. When you get your body involved, especially in believing something new, it really does speed up the new belief process. Again, if you feel like you're truly stuck here, you might need to take the body work up a level or two. This is where somatic work, brain spotting comes in. So don't be too hard on yourself if you do these things and you really feel stuck. There's a good reason why, and nothing is wrong with you. We just might need to add a few different practices and modalities to help you get unstuck. Okay, another practice here is to focus on what you value. Strip away their opinions and ask, what matters to me? What do I really love? How do I want to live? What matters to me? I was just meeting with a client. We're actually in a brain spot session. And one of the things that she realized was her belief system has been so inundated by not only her ex and a previous ex and family of origin, that she's recognizing she doesn't know what she loves or what she thinks or what she believes or who she is, down to the point where she doesn't even know what she likes to really wear. She's been told what is appropriate to wear or what is good to wear or wrong to wear. And when you start to recognize this deep level of not knowing for yourself, I just also want to acknowledge that there can be a lot of grief. And that's what came up for her in her brain spot session, is a lot of grief around this felt sense of, I don't know what matters to me. So I want to make space that as you consider these questions, if grief follows, it's appropriate. Of course, this loss of having a sense of self and voice, recognizing that you don't really know who you are or what you like, is very real. And grief would be an appropriate emotion to accompany that loss. that loss of voice and sense of knowing who you are, realizing and recognizing that you have maybe lived your whole life believing something about you that was someone else's beliefs, that this is what your ex taught you to believe, and that you held on to that, some of you for dear life, for dear attachment. And when you're recognizing that it isn't serving you, when you're starting to recognize that this isn't helpful and you don't want to believe this, but when you don't believe that, then what do I believe? Because you don't know what matters and you don't know what you like and love and how you want to live. There's that space that could feel very powerless or hopeless, lost. I just want to validate that and let you know that you are still there. It might feel like you're lost, but you really do still exist. And when you can turn towards yourself and start asking yourself these questions, even if it feels hard and even if grief is attached, the very fact that you're going to turn and ask yourself, what does matter to me? That's the starting point right there. You're giving yourself the space to answer the question. That space didn't exist before. Your ex doesn't get a vote in your life anymore. You're the boss now. You make choices based on your values, not their criticisms. What do you value in your life? What do you value about your body, your behaviors, your clothes, your hobbies, your style, the way that you mother, how you are a friend, your emotions, your attitude, how you clean? All of those things that might have been filled with criticism, with their beliefs, you get to slow this down and ask yourself what you value, what you want, what matters, what you love, and how you want to live, and start creating new thoughts, new beliefs for yourself. The next thing is to surround yourself with empowering voices. Sometimes when your voice is still quiet, when it's still a little timid, when it's not quite sure what it wants or thinks or believes or feels, it is okay to surround yourself with empowering voices to help strengthen your own voice for a time. Never let other people's voices hold more space or more power, but you can let them empower you. Safe, healthy friends, mentors, podcasts, you're already accomplishing one step, because I absolutely think that you are amazing and you are beautiful. Fill your world with people who remind you of your worth and your value, that you don't have to hustle for it, that you, just as you are, truly is enough. I never believed that. I was always hustling for that. And when I started to find people that believed that just me was enough, I started to believe it for myself, and I let that grow and I let that foster. And I built upon that, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, over and over, until I didn't need anybody else's voices because I believed it enough for myself. Now, you won't always do this perfectly. There is no perfect, right? We are just practicing. So make space for compassion, not self-criticism. When those old thoughts start to creep in, don't beat yourself up for having them. Instead, just practicing, oh, hello again. I see you, but I don't believe you anymore. And practice letting it go. Getting your hands involved. Remember, this is how you get your body involved. Move your hands. If you can see me on YouTube, right? Move your hands outward, push it out, move it out. Nope. I see you, but I don't believe you anymore. Push it out. Getting your body involved energetically. It matters. It's important. Lastly, give yourself time. Rewiring your brain takes patience, takes time. Every time you challenge a thought and rewrite the narrative, you're taking back your power. This is about progress, not perfection. That is the goal. You're not the same person that you were in that relationship. You are stronger and wiser and so much more than what your ex tried to make you believe. Reclaim your voice one thought at a time. There were so many things that you didn't choose in your past relationship. And now that you're going to become more aware of the thoughts and beliefs about yourself and who you are, you get to choose if those are useful. Are they useful to me anymore? or not. You get to choose what you want to think and feel about you, about all of it. You get to create new beliefs, new ideas about you and about all of it because you absolutely can. Take care, everybody. One of the biggest limiting beliefs I hear from my clients is usually around dating again, finding love again, being in a relationship again with someone. There are so many fears and limiting beliefs here. I can't even begin to replay all that I hear and all that I believed myself at one point. First of all, your fears are here for a reason. They're trying to protect you from being hurt again. And it is no small thing to risk being vulnerable again, especially after such significant betrayal. Your pain has taught you to be wary, and that's a normal survival response to those limiting beliefs. While they can feel protective, they can become walls that keep you isolated instead of truly feeling safe. So digging into some of the limiting beliefs here, we need to ask ourselves, is it really protecting me or am I stuck? The belief that all men are the same, or that all men have sexual addiction and struggle and cheat, that there's no one healthy out there, it might feel like a shield, but it's also locking the door to you finding what you really want. And that's a healthy relationship, mutual respect and connection. What if instead of needing to find the perfect partner or being afraid of getting it wrong, you focus on building your trust in yourself first? What if you focus on dating yourself first? What if you focus on healing those parts that have these limiting beliefs first? You're not looking for someone to complete you. That line in the Tom Cruise movie makes me want to throw up. Right? We don't complete each other. What we're doing is creating a life where a partner complements what you already are bringing to the table. And you get to take your time in this. The cost of staying stuck might feel safer short term, but in the long run, it could rob you of a chance to experience love that matches the healthy version of you that you are becoming. It's why I created the Dating Within workshop. We spend 3 evenings together, gaining more awareness of what has happened in the past so that we don't repeat it in the future. We spend time on accepting what is present and learning to date yourself in the present, and then being able to choose what is next. And if that's dating again, you're going to come at it from a completely different perspective. The next workshop is coming up, y'all, January 23rd through the 25th. Registration is open. You can go to the show notes, amiewoolsey.com. If you can't attend live, they are recorded for you to watch later. However, if you do attend live, you're going to get coached along the way. The third night, my husband Scott joins for a live Q&A where you get to ask a guy anything about all the things. It's definitely a favorite from the past workshops. I can't wait to see you again, January 23rd through 25th. Let's start off the new year learning how to date yourself and believing something new about it. Take care, everybody.
I was born to fly and spread these wings and find my own. I am coming home. Today will be the day, it all will change. Nothing, no one's in my way. Today will be the day. Today will be the day. I was made to